All right. Hey everybody. I we're just posting a little bit on my social media that January's topic is stress. So I have different topics laid out. We'll talk about stress, cortisol, how it messes with your hormones and causes you to not be able to lose weight, and all the things that we talk about just as far as dealing with things like perimenopause and hormonal changes and midlife and all the things. So, if there's ever something that you would like to talk about, please let me know. I'd love to see some of you join. We do these bi-weekly. It's for anybody at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and it's really a great opportunity to pick my brain, talk about some different things, and for those of you, I'll be posting the recording. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Emmy. I have a background as a nurse practitioner in family practice. I worked there for 12, 13 years, and really just got discouraged because I was seeing so many women and I really had very little to offer them for things like brain fog, fatigue, weight gain, no libido, like all the things. It was just, when is your next pap smear due? When is your next mammogram due? And so I feel passionately now, after studying functional medicine and really kind of marrying the two worlds of conventional medicine and functional medicine, that we can feel better as women. It is not motherhood or getting older or any of those things. And I want to shout it from the rooftops now. So that is why I have created this app. I post a lot on my social media, specifically Instagrams. If you don't follow me there, please come follow along. I have worked with hundreds of women since I stepped aside from doing primarily conventional medicine. I work one-on-one with them, and the outcomes are incredible. I feel like just how many people I've been able to really help, like age in reverse, lose the stubborn weight, give them the tools to feel good and confident. It's so, so, so rewarding. So, I'm not going to keep talking about that stuff. I'm going to get into, I have some slides to go through with you all that will just really help keep me on task. But we are going to talk about understanding how stress affects every part of your body. So I think sometimes we think of stress and it's like, oh, well, I don't really feel that stressed and that sort of thing. But you may have other symptoms cropping up, like weight gain around the middle and crashing in the afternoon, sex drive is non-existent, those kind of things. And so I want to help you kind of uncover that stress is a big part of why those things are happening. Before we get started, though, I just want to make an announcement because this is for all of you and for all friends, family, whoever wants to attend. I'm doing an interactive stress workshop on January 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is going to be super helpful to be at because we're going to actually look at what is your stress pattern, how is this affecting things, what are some practical things for you to be doing to turn things around. And I always have, like, that's like the one time that I have really awesome deals on my programs and ways to work with me. So I would love to see you all there. You do need to register, so I will make sure that I post a link for the registration to that workshop when I post the replay of this topic. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I never want the replays to last super long. I know it's really hard to like rewatch things, and I feel like they stay on my to-do list forever, and I don't want to do that to you. So let's get started. Understanding stress, what it does to your body, and then what can we do about it? Because that's what we all want to know, right? So the truth is that stress is sneaky, and sometimes it feels like you may not be stressed. You can't always feel it, but your body can be struggling. Sometimes this is things like just rushing everywhere or doing everything, every task like as it's an emergency. And this is something that I've been really convicted about and have really been working through, and it's made a significant difference. And I see it in my clients too. It's more than worry. It actually changes how your body works on the inside. And I do want to say that stress and cortisol is very similar to like inflammation. It's not bad in and of itself. It's not bad if we get like a little burst of it, but when it becomes that chronic low grade stress or like chronic low grade inflammation that we really see a lot of these physical symptoms start popping up. Most people don't know that stress is hurting them until something goes wrong. So a lot of these things are building up. We just live in this low level stress, anxiety state. And then we can like kind of keep up with it. And then after we've done that for a while, we'll start to see the actual symptoms crop up. Okay, so stress control center. So your brain's alarm system is called the HPA axis, and that stands for hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. You don't need to get super hung up in that. It sounds fancy, but it's really your body's stress messenger. So it's the alarm system. Cortisol is the stress chemical. So that's the main hormone that helps you deal with stress. It is very helpful in an emergent situation, helping you do what you need to do. If someone falls out on the floor, you call 911. It's running from the tiger, running from the lion. Like having that working properly is essential. But in today's society and just with our lifestyles and the things that we're dealing with, especially as women, this stuff has gone totally awry. Okay. And when it's being released all the time, we have problems. We need balance. Too much cortisol can make you feel moody. It will make you gain weight, specifically around the middle. It can make you hot and wired. And then after we have lived in that state for a while, we actually get to the burnout phase where things just collapse. And then we see profound fatigue, hard to get up in the morning, even after sleeping 8 hours, and that sort of thing. So, what happens inside when you're stressed? Several different things. And these are things that may surprise you, but your blood sugar goes up. Your body stores more fat when you're stressed. If you think about it, when cortisol releases, it sends your blood sugar up because we need glucose. We need that energy to help run from the tiger or help someone if they have, had a medical event and that sort of thing. So our blood sugar goes up, which long term is not ideal. Your energy drops. So a lot of times, think about it like that adrenaline crash, like you have the adrenaline, like the really stressful event, and then you just kind of crash. There's a hormone called DHEA that goes down that actually makes you age faster. And other hormones get confused and they stop working correctly. So you get moody, and you may feel like you're on like a mood roller coaster. There's something called, I call it like the hormonal hierarchy. So things like insulin and cortisol are higher up in the hierarchy than things like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Okay. I think sometimes as women, when we talk about hormones and that sort of thing, we're thinking just, about like bioidentical hormones and stuff like that, and going to get estrogen, testosterone, whatever. Maybe your friend did it and it worked really well for her. But unless we address the root of what's happening up further with things like insulin and cortisol, you're going to be chasing those sex hormones constantly. Okay. You can't lose weight when you're stressed. Your metabolism slows down. So when you are in that fight or flight emergency, like everything is an emergency, all the time, your body is not putting resources into things that aren't essential. So your body's really just trying to survive. Okay. So you don't digest food. You're going to burn less energy. Even if you eat healthy and exercise, your body literally is just focused on survival. We also see inflammation. It will make you puffy. That's why you'll see these things on Instagram and social media about like cortisol face, like moon face. Now that's an extreme that can actually be due to like a legitimate, like underlying significant medical condition. But it does make you puffy. So I talk to so many women. Have you ever felt like I'm working out, I'm eating 1,200 calories, and when I'm like lifting weights, like I actually feel puffier. I'm eating 150 grams of protein. You're doing all the things that you know to do right, and the scale won't budge. You're exhausted. You have brain fog, no sex drive, and you feel puffy and inflamed. And this is a big part of why. And the diabetes risk grows because your body stops responding to insulin the right way. And we obviously don't want to go there. So when you go to your doctor and you tell them what's going on, this was me. This was me in the clinic with all these women telling me these things. And I'm like, I'll check some labs, like only the things that your insurance will cover. And then I'm looking at them and I'm interpreting them based on, remember that we get normal lab ranges based on like a overall, like very sick population. And I told them their labs were normal and they're in tears because they wanted something to be wrong with their thyroid or wanted me to be able to find something wrong. So the problems are we're only looking to find big problems that we can put a diagnosis on and say, like, you have this diagnosis, this disease. We're not trained in that situation to look for small imbalances. And normal does not mean healthy. Your test may say normal, but your body is telling you otherwise. And I would encourage each one of you to be an advocate for that. Like if you don't feel well, keep pushing, keep digging. Um, Again, like insurance is a big limiting factor because they only cover really, I mean, the basics. They're not going to cover other things until the basics are out of whack, and we don't want to wait for that. So really, you're left with no answers. You have these symptoms and you can't figure out why. So we can change that by doing functional testing that actually is looking for the minor imbalances, looking at the whole picture, looking at all of the hormones, how they work together, catching the imbalances early so that we don't have to wait till you actually develop a disease and we can put a label on it. And looking at the cortisol pattern and the stress pattern all day. Sometimes you can get your doctor to order a cortisol test in the morning, but cortisol does not stay the same all day. It changes throughout the day. We have a circadian rhythm. So, really, we want to look at that whole picture all day to really figure out where the problem is. And that allows us to identify practical ways for you to actually turn this around. Okay. Then the weight falls off. You don't feel inflamed. You're having sustained energy and mental clarity throughout the day. Um, this is testing like I didn't know anything about this when I was in the clinic. Insurance, of course, would not cover it. I wasn't trained to look at it and interpret it. And again, this is like my megaphone, like want to shout from the rooftops. I would love to see medicine head in this direction where we're able to do this for more patients. But really sitting down, putting the whole picture together, using the basic tests and also the functional tests, and really looking at the picture that way is so, so, so helpful. So, Sarah's story, this is obviously not really a picture of Sarah, but the typical woman that I work with, exhausted and foggy headed for years, feeling like that, hormones are changing perimenopause, but you're really just like totally blown off. Your normal doctor says everything is normal. And then when we did her testing, we realized that her cortisol was all out of whack. And in this situation, she was also estrogen dominant. She was actually on hormone replacement therapy, and her estrogen was too high. So that was contributing to a lot of symptoms. So again, before she was tired, brain fog, couldn't focus. We did the testing, so we're not guessing. This is not, I mean, I would say that like after doing this for years, I've gotten a lot better at being able to spot these patterns, but I'm not guessing on any single client. We're doing the testing, we're looking at the results, and that really allows us to make the appropriate changes. And we're able to figure out what's going on with your body and make these appropriate changes. Afterwards, you get your energy back. You can think clearly. You have that sustained mental clarity and you feel great. You don't dread trying on jeans or seeing yourself in a picture and all those kind of things. So, what are some things that you can do right now to start addressing potential cortisol imbalances and really just that feeling of living our lives in fight or flight all the time? I call it rushing woman syndrome. And remember, something I want to just tell you really quickly is even things like working out and not cooling down before you like start the rest of the things like racing to work or racing to get the kids to school or whatever it is, that in and of itself will keep you in that fight or flight sympathetic nervous system throughout most of your day and make you feel terrible when you do that long term. So sleep, they actually just came out with a new study that said sleep matters more than what you eat, how much you exercise, and everything. So we have to sleep. Going to bed at the same time each night. This is something that I work really hard with clients. If they really are having a significant problem sleeping, we'll use some targeted herbs and supplements, but really getting this circadian rhythm in check is one of the best things that you can do for overall health and longevity. Moving your body, so exercise, lower intensity exercise, not pounding it away, doing like HIIT and things like that, um, and making sure that you cool down and bring your heart rate back down to normal after the exercise is so, so important. Eating good food. What you eat is actually changing every single cell in your body. Okay. But I'm all about making this doable. We are busy women. So we want to eat good food, but we also want to make it practical. And my goal for every single person is to find some food freedom. And then get in-depth testing. If you are always tired, if you cannot lose weight, if you have brain fog, anxiety, get some more in-depth functional testing that can really look at why do you feel like this and really help us give you a personalized plan, not just like cattle herding like at the doctor's office where we tell everybody the same thing. Look at what's going on with your body and what you need. Don't wait longer. I think sometimes people wait until it's like absolutely an emergency and they can't go on another day. And it's so much easier to turn this stuff around if we catch it earlier. Um, Remember that stress is affecting your body every single day. So putting it off is just going to put us further in the hole. You deserve answers. So doing the testing that will reveal what the regular tests have missed, and then understanding what we see on the testing, putting very strategic interventions in to help you feel better, and you can lose weight, feel good, again, have the sustained mental clarity, all that kind of thing. If you would like to talk more about the testing, I am happy to talk to any of you. If you just want to hang out and come to these topics and see what we're talking about, ask questions, maybe talk through your situation, I'm also happy to do that. I want this to be beneficial for you. I don't love just talking to myself on Zoom. So if you have a topic that you want to discuss, if you have questions, I am always happy to do that. And I want to do what's most beneficial for all of you. So if you watch this replay, please let me know, and I will make sure I post the link for the stress workshop registration. And if you would like to do a discovery call, please let me know in the comments, and I will get that to you as well. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Happy hump day, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.